All right, one of the next labs you're gonna do is change the access limits. Very, very important. So we can create a working envelope in here. So in order to do that, you guys are gonna go through, you're gonna hit menu, okay? And then you can go down to 0 or hit 0, okay? And then we gotta go down to 6, which is system, all right? And then it's gonna give us this display. We obviously don't wanna change the clock right now. We wanna change the access limits. So what we need to do, all right, is hit F1. We're gonna go down to number 4. You can also toggle down with the arrows here. We're gonna hit number 4 and hit enter. All right, this is the access limit. So this is the limitation on the robot, okay? So what I want you to be able to do is in the first lab, all I want you to do is the first thing you need to do is get your phone out and take a picture of this screen so that you can remember what the original access limits are, because you're going to change these and see how the robot messes up, okay? And then you're going to put them back the way they are. All right, so just in order to change these, all right, you really just have to type what you're looking for. So we're going to make this -10, okay? And then I can toggle over and hit enter, and then I can go over to this one and make this one +10, and I hit enter. Notice on the screen now I have -10, +10. Now up here, all right, it tells you exactly what to do. System 346, I need to cycle power, okay, because I changed the access limits. So for you, that means that we literally have to come down here, turn the power off, turn the power back on the robot, and let it reboot, okay? Point being is that's how the robot's gonna save the data. If you do not power off and power back on, all right, it won't change your access limits and you won't be able to move the robot in the work envelope. It'll still be moving based on the old access limits. Okay, so you must reset the power. So it takes a second here. The FANUC controller needs to reboot. But now when I move the robot, all right, notice the access limits are -10 and +10. That's what I set those to. So now I'm gonna try and jog the robot here and see what happens to the robot. I turn the speed up. I have to hold the dead man in the center position. All right, shift reset. Okay, so my faults are all clear. So now I changed axis 1 only. So I'm gonna be moving it, okay, ±10 degrees. All right, and then look, I get an access limit right here, a stroke limit. So I can't go +X anymore, but I can still go -X over here to where I get to -10, and then I get my error again. So I've created my working envelope. So no matter what I do, my robot is restricted between ±10 degrees. Okay, and you can watch on the screen when it tells you, all right? But I've created the working envelope. So that's your lab for that piece. What do you have to do now? You have to change back these values. So I'm gonna change that value back to -170. Hit enter, and I'm gonna move over, and I'm gonna make this a +170. Hit enter, all right? Now, remember, what do we have to do? I have to cycle power. The screen will always give you good instructions if for some reason why it's not working. So now we have to turn power on and off again, all right? So it's very, very, very important that we do that. So once cycle power comes back on, I'm not going to show it to you, your access limits should be set back to where they were, and the robot will have full function. Or I guess I will show you so that you know that we're not restricted here as we go back through. So it just takes a second here for it to boot up. All right, same thing works on all the robots. So even that LR Mate, it's got a little bit longer reach. Same thing, these are all going to be programmed the same way. Even the big guy back there in the corner, okay, that one's gonna be programmed the same way. So now my screen's back online, and I can see that I'm back at -170, and these are touch screens, so be careful how close you get to the screen. All right, and then we have +170. So those did take. So now if I hit shift reset, okay, I'm still in the center position on the dead man. Turn my speed up, all right. Now I have no limitations on my x-axis. Well, I do, but they're at negative 170 and 170, so I've got almost full range now. There's nothing stopping me like there was before when I had it sitting between negative 10 and 10. All right, so that's the end of that lab. Next lab we're going to be focused on is you guys are going to make this thing go into fault and be able to get out some similar faults. And all right, after that, we're going to get into our user frame and tool frame. I just re-imaged all these, so everybody should be good to go.